The Anaheim Ducks have not had a captain since 12-year captain Ryan Getzlaf retired following the 21-22 season, becoming one of 5 teams without a captain along with the Buffalo Sabres, Chicago Blackhawks, Seattle Kraken, and the Utah No Names. But that seems to be coming to an end as GM Pat Verbeek said the Ducks are likely to name a captain before next season, and it seems to have been endorsed by head coach Greg Cronin too. The Ducks have used a rotating A system for the past few years, most consistently worn by Adam Henrique, Jakob Silfverberg, Cam Fowler, and newcomers Radko Gudas and Alex Killorn, with an occasional sprinkle of youth with Troy Terry and Mason McTavish. But who will take the C? There are 4 players I think could be named the 9th captain in team history: Radko Gudas, Troy Terry, Mason McTavish, and Trevor Zegras. Also, I want to get one player out of the way who I guess could still be in consideration: Cam Fowler, the longest tenured Duck. If he was going to be captain, he would have been named already. He was the easiest choice after Getzey retired. He has stated in an interview a few years ago now that he didn't want to be captain, so unless he has a change of heart, it won't be him. And that's not even talking about his declining play over the last few years. Now on to the 4 players who I think really have a chance. Starting with Radko Gudas, who started his career in Anaheim with what looked like an overpayment on his contract, but became one of the best contracts, at least to me, in the league. He was statistically the best shutdown defenseman 5-on-5 in the NHL this year, averaging the second most minutes of his career. He has brought a sense of snarl to the Ducks they haven't had in years, with his willingness to stand up for teammates and his oh-so-beautiful hip checks. Of course, the one bad side to his aggressive play, he takes a lot of penalties. And just like most of the Ducks this year, a lot of them dumb. But hey, Getzlaf was named captain after the year prior having the most penalties on the team. Gudas is always the last one off the ice to high-five his teammates, and gave away his stick in almost every single one of the Ducks' post-game locker room videos. I don't know if I've seen a player within just a year become a fan favorite like he has. And if you can't tell, he is my pick to become the Ducks' next captain. My initial response when someone commented on the channel that he should be the next captain was like, he's going to be gone in 2 years. We need someone who is going to be here for the long haul. But after watching the kids this year, none of them seem ready. A 2-year stopgap would allow time for the kids to mature, and who knows, new options could emerge to be captain. Minty or Carlson perhaps. But if the Ducks think one of the young Ducks is ready now, they have options. Starting with the oldest of the bunch, Troy Terry, aka Timmy, who was my pick to become the next captain prior to this season. But now, of the 4 players on my list, he is actually at the bottom. How quick things can change. You all know Troy Terry is my favorite player, but he disappointed this year. Point-wise, he actually got close to his previous season totals. But play-wise, he was, and there really is no other way to say this, he was awful in most stretches this season, trying to go through 3 players, turning over the puck, and just struggling to even hit the net, which come to find out, like I thought, he was playing hurt for most of the season, which makes a bit more sense as to why he played so bad. It's hard to do much with a hurt shoulder, but if you know you're hurt, you have to simplify your game. And instead, it seems he was trying to compensate by trying to do too much. Something Terry has said is that he struggles with the mental side of the game, and I feel like that's the most important thing for a captain, to be mentally strong. If your leader is weak mentally, now your whole team is too. Terry wants to take on a leadership role. He mentioned he listens to podcasts and reads books on leadership in his exit interview. I could see him rocking the A for a few years. But to be honest, if he is given the C, I would be worried about the ability of our team to win in the future. Not to say Terry couldn't grow into a leader, and maybe this could be what he needs to take another step in his game. But you want your captain to be mentally strong, and Terry isn't at the moment. But there are 2 other guys as confident as they come in McTavish and Zegras. McTavish has the skill and the swagger to lead a team. He did it for Team Canada at World Juniors. Heck, I even made a video this season saying he would be the next captain during his hot offensive run at the start of the season. But that run hit his awful defense, which became more apparent as the season went on. Just like Gudas, he took terrible penalties too. And he even makes drop passes like Getzey did. So, 2 points to Gryffindor. Of course, just like Terry and a lot of the Ducks this season, he was playing hurt for most of it. I don't remember his defense being as bad as it was the year prior, or even being a problem in juniors. So maybe this year was a fluke, but we cannot have a player as a captain who cannot play defense. It's hard to forget, Mason is still just 21 years old. He needs time to mature and figure out the type of player he wants to be. And that leaves Trevor Zegras, by far the most polarizing choice. He has gone through so much hate the last few years, from constant trade rumors, losing a best friend, to injuries, and not to mention the constant hate he always gets. And yet, he still comes up laughing every day. Just shows his mental toughness. He was challenged this year to improve his defensive game, and he met that challenge head on. Like Mason, he also has the swagger and the skill to lead a team. He also has a passionate side that can lead to acting out on the ice. That has put him in a lot of drama already in his young career. And it was because of this, I didn't think it was really a possibility for Zegras to ever get the C. But he has matured a lot this year. He kinda has that pesky rat mentality Brad Marchand does, based on Cronin's latest comments about Zegras being held more accountable than others. And the fact that Crow mentioned leadership as a possibility means they could see Zegras as a captain at some point. Becoming a captain could actually help tone down Z a bit because he would finally know his role. Not to mention, Zegras getting the captaincy would be so much fun. All the haters would cry, and it would immediately put to bed the trade rumors. While he is just 23, it's clear the younger kids look up to him. You can tell by watching practice, he is always yapping, and they are listening. I think Zegras might be my second choice as captain now. And actually, in writing this video, making him captain almost seems like the best choice. But I still have Gudas with a slight edge. So my guess for who will be the next captain is that they give Gudas the C, and then they keep the rotating A thing going between Zegras, McTavish, Terry, Fowler, and Killorn. Of course, we aren't in the locker room, and it's up to the players ultimately. Who do you think will be the next captain? Comment down below. I was gonna talk about Verbeek's exit interview comments in this video too, but I guess I had more to say on the captaincy than I thought, so this video is already pretty long. So I'll keep Beaker's comments short and sweet. Most of what he said at the Ducks migration event, so you can go watch this video for a summary of what he said during that. But some new things. His list for free agency has grown, with wanting to add a top 4 right-handed D. He made sure to praise Zegras' improved two-way game. He mentioned the dub Leo plan, where Leo sat out games at times this season, will be continued to be used for future prospects. He also mentioned Leo, Terry, and Cutter will most likely be on the penalty kill next season. I think besides the captain quote, the quote that stood out to me the most was regarding Dostal and Gibson. On the surface, it looks like from this quote, we're going to have a goalie competition next season, and whoever is the best will get the net. But to me, and based on comments from Beaker in previous years, I think this is the end of John Gibson, starter for the Anaheim Ducks. Verbeek has said in the past about how elite Gibby is as a goalie, and you just don't give that up, but it kind of seems like his tone has changed. And no offense to Gibby, he has carried us for so many years, but the time was never right for him here. When the Ducks were good, he was young and injured, and then, when he was in his prime, the Ducks were past theirs. And now, as the Ducks are on a rise, a young kid is coming to take his job because he is past his prime. I said at the beginning of the season, this would be Gibson's last year with the Ducks, and I still think that's true. Gibson does not seem like the type who'd be willing to take a backup role, but we'll see. Also, the first question out of Alexis's mouth is about Beaker drinking 2 monsters already on the day. Meanwhile, I can't even drink a full one. I love how him drinking Monster is not just a meme at this point. It's true. He is always cracking one open. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!
I kind of like to get back to my farm, and I got a little boat that I can get out in this little lake and throw a line around and catch some fish from time to time.